All right.
Oh, no way.
So we're gonna look at parabolas. Parabolas.
Your voice is cracked?
Yeah. Haven't. Last week was all like people reviewing and stuff, so I gotta get used to talking to you. So we're gonna look at some parabolas. So we're gonna look at different pieces of parabolas. Every parabola has a vertex, and your vertex is just the highest or lowest point. Your very highest or very lowest. That's all a vertex is.
Oh, my
It's nothing super difficult. You know what? On these parabolas, I accidentally erased one of my arrows. You guys don't need to draw these. It's just putting them in for myself.
Nope. Good job.
Okay. So your vertex, very highest or very lowest point. If I'm going to look at this little parabola over here, my vertex is a very lowest. Right? It is right here. And usually when we talk about vertexes,
So it'd be 2?
we are going to say the x comma y. So this is, I start here in the middle, 1, and then I'm 0. I'm not going up or down. This vertex is at 1, 0. If I'm going to look at this big parabola over here on the right, my very biggest point is right here. And that is at -1, -2, -3, -4, -1, 2, 3. -4, 3 is that vertex.
So how are we doing?
This is like half what you're doing, actually.
Really?
Yeah,
So there's moss?
a little bit. I'm not. Pretty easy lesson. Quick. Okay. So when we have a very highest or very lowest point, when it's the highest, we say that is a maximum. If it's the highest, it's a maximum. So on this parabola over here, this is my very highest point, right? So this is a max.
Maximum effort.
And then on the other way around, if I have a very lowest point, like on my parabola on the left, that is a minimum.
Minimum effort.
Very lowest, we just call it a min. They mean the same thing, we're just learning the mathematical terms for it. So, it's easy to see when we look at the graph. It's easy to see you have a max or a min. That's my very lowest, it's the min. Very highest, it's the max. You can also look at just your equation. So this is my standard form, ax squared plus bx plus c. If a, the number in front, if it's less than 0, we are going to have a maximum. If it's less than 0, it's going to be a max, because that means my parabola is going to be flipped upside down and I'm going to have a very highest. And then, on the other hand, if a is greater than 0, we're going to have a minimum. So, you don't actually need to see the graph to say, does it have a max or min? Just look at A, thing in front. If it's less than 0, you can just say, oh, it's got a maximum. If it's greater than 0, you can just say, oh, it's got a minimum.
So we're just going to be saying it's minimum and maximum?
That's, yeah, that's like a third of what you do. The vertex is a third, this is a third, and then we're going to look at something else, which is really not any different.
So we're going to find the vertex, find whether it's a maximum or minimum.
And there's one thing we haven't talked about yet, but it's pretty simple. All right, everybody got these notes down?
Yes, sir.
You got it, Jake? You're so fun.
Oh, I got it.
All right, so we're going to find the vertex of each parabola. We're going to find the vertex. So, and then we're going to say, is it maximum or minimum? So I'm going to look at this first one right here. I have a very highest point right here in the middle, right?
It's 0.
That
3.
is a max.
0, 3.
No, 0, 3. So, when I talk about vertex, I'm always going to say the x comma y. So it is at left and right 0, up 1, 2, 3. It's at 0, 3. Pretty easy.
Wait. So it's max if it's more than.
So if we don't have an equation here, right? But I can just look at my graph. Do I have a very highest or very lowest point? Highest. If it's highest, it's a maximum. Because my graph never goes higher. So parabolas, they're always like U's, or
so
they're flipped upside down.
It's going to be minimum.
So this one, it's flipped upside down. This is my very biggest, and then I'm going to go down forever on the sides. This one is going to be a minimum on part B right here, because I have a very lowest.
1 minus 1.
And my vertex is going to be at 1, -1. Yep. Don't forget when you do it, make sure you put it in parentheses and do x comma y with this. Don't just go like 1, -1. All right, first in class, find the vertex and tell me, is it a max or min? I'll give you 30 seconds. And then we'll go over it.
Doesn't affect the main
What? All right. Ira, where's the vertex?
IRA. He's from the IRA.
By -3.
Hey, what?
What?
What's the vertex?
Oh, minimum. I don't know.
Oh, the V.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Where
It's
is
minus-
this stuff?
It's
Yeah.
-2, -3.
This was, yeah.
You said
that's
minus
not-
one.
I just heard
No, it's
-3.
-3.
Yeah, that's part of it. That's our y, right?
Yeah.
Because we're gonna start here in the middle. We go -1, -2,
And then -2.
and -3.
Oh, it's -2.
Ah.
-2 first. Remember x first
Okay.
and then y.
That's
This isn't a slope.
Remember,
It is
think
an
of it as
xy
a plane.
plane.
It has to move left and right before it can go up and down.
okay.
Mhm.
Airplane.
All right, and then
Don't say Bob.
I already said it. It is a minimum, a min, because it's got a very lowest
I know
point.
what you're saying.
All
I
right.
love that movie.
This is like 2/3 of everything we're doing today. We're actually probably going to be done in like 5 minutes. Nice, easy lesson to start you off.
I'm confused, but I like that movie.
Okay. So we talked about every parabola has a vertex. Every parabola also has what's called an axis of symmetry, which is really kind of a pain to spell, so I abbreviate it as AOS with little o. So, axis of symmetry, AOS. And what this is, it is a line that cuts our parabola in half. So it's not actually on here, but every parabola has one. We're going to draw it ourselves. So it's going to be the line that cuts our parabola in half, and it goes through the vertex. Because your vertex is always going to be right in the middle. So, my vertex on this parabola is right here. My axis of symmetry is like this invisible line that cuts it in half. So, I'm just going to draw this invisible line right here. It's not visible, but I'm going to make a dash. That is my axis of symmetry. Right in the middle, that line. You don't have to make it a dashed line, I just usually do so you know. And when we talk about axis of symmetry, you know, we said vertex equals our x comma y. Axis of symmetry, the way we write it is we go x equals, because my axis of symmetry is a line, right? It's always a line. So, because it's up and down, that means x equals, and then we just say whatever the x in the vertex is. Or whatever this x value is. What's this x value right here where this line is?
Wherever you want.
-2. -2. -1, -2. My axis of symmetry is x equals -2. Or, you know what, to make it even easier, let's look at this parabola on the right. My vertex is here, right? What's my x comma y for my vertex?
Oh, it's
3 -0.
3, 0.
3, -1, right?
3,
Because we're going down. Okay, my axis of symmetry is always going to be an x equals, and it's right here in the middle. My dashed line. And it's x equals x in the vertex. So it is this number right there. X equals 3. If you found your vertex, you found your axis of symmetry. You don't need to really do any work. You just need to write it down. So x equals 3. That's it.
So literally we have
X in the vertex.
you have to say whether it's minimum, maximum, find what it is, and then find the middle thing.
Yeah, that's all we're doing today.
Alright, we'll give it some homework.
We're going to practice one. At least one. Got to prove you're paying attention. Not just snoozing around in class.
Bro, I just listed out what we gotta do.
It's true. Alright, so let's just practice finding a couple axes of symmetries real quick. Unless you want to just do there in class.
And go.
Alright, find the axis of symmetry in this one down here. And remember, axis of symmetry, you always say x equals. And then your number. If you don't do the x equals, it's wrong. Because your axis of symmetry is a line, we need the x equals to show that it is a line. And I'll give you about
Hey, come here.
15
Dude, look,
seconds. Give me 15 seconds, and then we'll double check it.
So, boom, boom, boom. Oh, do I have to put it?
What does it say?
Min.
Oh, yeah. It was like min. It's a min. Looks good. Yeah.
Come on!
All right, DeAndre, what's our axis of symmetry?
What?
What's our axis of symmetry?
That was
Now
space.
that I did it, I
It
do
was
it.
space enough to pass like 10 seconds.
See, this is why I don't like to just skip around reasons like this.
Wait, is he
Two.
lost?
What?
Yeah.
Okay. Axis of symmetry. Invisible line, even though it's not on here. It's a line that cuts our parabola in half. Okay. What?
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 I was talking with you.
Okay. It's a line that cuts our parabola in half, goes right in the middle, goes through the vertex. When we write it down, we always go x equals, because it's a line, that's how we show it's a line. And it's going to be the same as the x in your vertex. What's the x in this vertex right here?
Think through.
Say it, DeAndre.
Doing it negative.
-2, which means my axis of symmetry is going to be x equals -2. And when I talk axis of symmetry, I go AOS because I don't want to write the whole thing out because it's pain. All right.
Is that a good
Yeah.
classroom?
Not yet, but soon. All right, that is it, I think. Are we doing this part?
No.
Yeah, we can do this part.
Ah!
Nope.
Son of a.
Homework.
I forgot about this part. That's my bad. Okay, but it's easy though.
It's not on our
It's easy.
notes.
All right.
It's
Really?
not on our notes.
Really?
Yeah, it's not on ours.
Oh,
Yeah.
I guess give
Nope,
it
looks like we can't do it.
Yep, probably didn't print it.
All right, we'll do this part. That's fine. No biggie.
Hey, dude, can I exit out or empty out all my binder?
Yes. All right, so starting your exit tickets on the board. Sorry, I don't know why I printed that weird. I'll put your homework on Google Classroom. I'll show it on your exit ticket in a minute. If you can't see the graph because it's too far away, just come up here and look at it real quick. You're just gonna tell me is it a max or min, and answer a couple questions, and then start your homework.